Hey, welcome to AIT. Today you're looking at a AIT 7616 rotary heat transfer machine. This 7616 is a narrow web, so for lanyard, webbing, elastic, that kind of work being done to dye sublimation on narrow web continuously. And we have been making and supplying the 7616 for years, and fundamentally the machine is the same capability, that is 16 inches wide. Actually the belt is 17 to 18 inches wide, a heated drum that is 24 inch in diameter, and then unwinds. Got blotting tissue on this unwind, but they'll have two unwinds, blotting tissue unwind and sublimation paper unwind, and then rewinds for the those same used material, all with pneumatic clutches and etc. So that, let me see here, those are the features of the machine that have been there since its inception. The difference on this machine is that, one, the drum here is oil heated drum, so all the AIT equipment these days uses oil heated drums. Zoom in here close and you can actually see the thermocouple that is mounted in the shell of the drum, and that of course picks up the temperature of the drum, feeds the information back to, in this case, TouchScreen Plc. It's not on right now, but a TouchScreen Plc that operates the machine but also does the PID loop temperature controlling. So let's see, so the TouchScreen Plc is a new feature, and our guide system up here is probably about the same, but we use narrow web set collars, if you will, and rotatable S-bars in order to set up a guide system to guide the narrow web into a specific location, so that that can, one, line up with a flood code, if you will. So we want to get as many narrow web pieces across this width of print paper, and or to align it perfectly to what we call an engineered print, where it has to land exactly in the middle, as an example. So this guide system enables you to do just that. Standard procedure for us is an E-lanyard here, an E-stop lanyard. It's two position. So one, it stops the machine from turning, and then secondly, you pull it a second further and it reverses the turn, so you can actually back it up. Nomex belt is tracked on there. It has a tracking system that we've had and continue to use and find it robust. This is uses a fiber optic cable to detect the edge of the felt, and then as it needs to be guided one way or the other, a roller way down here shifts in order to drive it back left to right as need be. The whole belt is driven here by a drive roller. This one is knurled. We've gone to knurled rollers over the past years and found them really predictive, last a long time, and great use. So this is a knurled roller that is driven and turns the drum as well. The rest of these rollers are idler rollers. The one in the back that you see here I'm pointing to is an idler roller as well. However, that one is on cylinders. This is a tensioning roller, so when the air comes on, it'll actually tension the felt, which is your pressure within the sublimation process, time, temperature, and pressure. Let's see. Some great features that we've added to all our equipment, and of course is on the 7616, is we've got kind of a cabinet in a cabinet. So here you go, there's one of the, there's the control cabinet side of the machine, and you can see the motors, the heating element leads, etc. In the machine, the pneumatic tracking system. Here's a side view of that oil heated drum, and you can see the thermocouple wire, the orange one. And actually, the thermocouple wire comes over to a transformer box, let's call it that. It's not actually a transformer, it's a wireless box that transmits the signal from the thermocouple here over to, it's going to be hard to see the receiving, but anyway, wirelessly, the signal from the thermocouple goes from there into the control cabinet, and you can see this transducer looking box here that receives the signal. It keeps us more maintenance free on compared to past equipment, in that wirelessly the information comes over here and then goes into the PLC. You see Schneider PLC is what we're using here for our controls. So I'll zoom back here for a second. This is the other control box inside. So this one is air cooled, you see from the fans. Here we're going to have all our electrical components, motor inverters, those are Schneider brand as well. And the power supplies are Schneider too, so the good thing about that is they're all piped back into the Schneider PLC that controls the whole system. So we've got 4 motors here, the rewind for the transfer paper, the used transfer paper, used blotting tissue. This machine has a power takeoff, and then the main inverter itself. There's a fuse block, so you can pull these fuses out. I don't think this is hooked up, so I'll pull this out. You can pull this out and run the machine without heating on, and it goes back in there. Let's see, what else am I leaving out? Here's where the power comes through. Our power cable, or the customer provided power cable, will come through that opening, connect up here to this terminal block. All of these are have safety closure features on them, so that when you're running the equipment, these control boxes have to be closed. Here's the rear of the machine. Our side frames are quite a bit wider than they used to be in the older 7616 series. So this is the backside where the transferred ribbon is going to be coming off. So it'll come off the belt here as it's turning towards us. Here's a rewind where we're able to rewind the used print paper. It's paying off up there. There's pre-drilled or punched holes for the electrical cable to go in the back of the machine. Of course, this machine uses compressed air. The regulator has been taken off of it for the time being for shipment, so this is going to be crated up and shipped out to a customer. And so that is the 2020 version of the 7616. One more quick feature. Here's the drive motors, and there you see the big air cylinder that tensions the felt belt. The other motors that are turning the rewinds. And then here's the main drive, and what we do here is we weld on a nut, if you will, on the back of the gearbox for the main motor, and include this ratchet so that in the event there's a power drop, you're able to continue to turn the felt belt with the ratchet. Now, most people, customers who have power issues at their location, they'll of course keep this, but they'll also keep one of the rechargeable Makita ratchets, for example, here in the frame of the machine to be able to keep that handy in the event they lose power and they need to turn the belt until the electrical supply comes back on. One last feature here, we've got a fine adjustment. I'm not sure if you can see that, but this shifts the entire amount of ribbon in order to do fine adjustment as you guide the narrow web to the transfer paper. So there we have it, the 7616 in 2020.